Thank you, Victor, and good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see everyone here. Can't see it, but I can see the audience participants. There are quite a number of participants. Good afternoon. My name is Fong. I'm the CEO of Lgms. I would like to give you a very quick introduction about what we do, and also to share with you what are the potential career opportunities that we have for the market. And please let's look at the slide. Next slide, please. Okay. LGMS basically we have started up back in 2005. So we are 15 years old now, and we are in a very interesting industry. We are what you call the ethical hackers. So if you haven't met any hackers, professional hackers before, so we are it. So we have been providing ethical hacking services to the industry for the last 15 years. So what we do is we operate pretty much like the hackers, but the difference is that we operate with the intention of helping our customers to find out what are the weaknesses in their system, in their companies, in their organizations, and help them and advise them how to fix it, how to make them more secure. Now, if you have ever used in Malaysia, if you ever use e-banking apps or purchase something online, make payment online, and quite likely the system are actually tested by LGMS lab first before they go out to the market. So we are usually operating at a very back-end level, kind of transparent, invisible for the general public. And this is what we do. We also operate in different matters. Basically, ethical hacking is to prevent things from bad from happening. So organization usually prepare themselves first, get themselves understand what are the weaknesses, and then get our help to help them to identify the weaknesses and then prepare before the attacks. There are situations where after the attack happens, let's say the organization was attacked, then there's another type of services that we also provide as well. So I'm going to walk through with you the general what are things that we do, and maybe that could spark some interest in your career planning as well. So next slide, please. So these are some history about LGMS. So I'm not going to bore you with all the history. So you can actually find it on our website. We have a quite interesting domain. Our website is called lgms.global. It's not .com, it's just lgms.global. So if you can go to our website, then you can basically find out about us. So we grow from a very simple beginning. And then over the years, we achieved quite a number of international certifications. And I'm going to skip this quickly. Yeah. So next slide, please. We have been working closely with MDEC since 2018, and one of the project that we worked with MDEC was something called NX Force. So the program is intentionally the intent of the program is to train up 250 students every year in cybersecurity. So some of the topics that we provide training is on penetration testing, security assessment, digital forensics, SOC operations. So some of you may have joined the program before, and this is a kind of interesting program. This is the first time we are collaborating with MDEC and to bring the program to the university students and give them first-hand experience in industry experience in operating in cybersecurity. And next slide, please. All right. So at LGMS, we actually take security in a very serious matter. That's why we go in very in-depth in the kind of work that we do. So we actually strive to achieve international recognition for our services. For example, we are also considered the first cybersecurity consulting firm who obtained ISO 27001 back in earlier 2005, and then now we have got several rounds of revision already. We're also the first company who obtained PCI, payment card industry, qualified security assessor, and approved scanning vendor status. For approved scanning vendors, there are currently about 100 companies around the world we have this qualification, and we are the one of the 100 companies around the world who have these certifications. We are also official training provider for PECB, Professional Evaluation and Certification Board of the US. Basically, you can take trainings and examination at LGMS at our office. We also provide training for ISACA. We are the official trainer for ISACA, ISACA. We were also recognized by IDC in 2019 as the key pen tester in Asia Pacific for IoT. So we're quite, because one of the blessings is that our job is very focused. We provide penetration testing and security assessment. So that gives us a flexibility of look very far ahead. So we go very deep into testing. So today we are no longer just doing pen tests on computer systems anymore. So we are doing pen tests on some of the things that we would have never imagined 5-10 years ago. So we are doing testing on medical devices, X-ray machines, MRI machines. We're doing testing on naval navigation system, ship navigation systems. We're doing testing on all sorts of IoT devices. And the upcoming one, what we are expected to test are cars, automotive device components. So these are the things that has been changing over the years. When it comes to cybersecurity, right, we're actually looking at a far more broader coverage anymore. It's no longer just cybersecurity and computers. There are many things that we'll see in the future will need cybersecurity. That's why the job demand for cybersecurity is going to grow. It's not going to go down any time further. Next slide, please. Right, so these are some of the services. You can actually find it on our website. I'm not going to go through it in very detail, but in summary, what we provide are 4 categories. Number one is penetration testing. 80% of our revenue is actually coming from penetration testing. Our pen test client, including some of the largest banks in the world, we're actually doing pen tests from Malaysia and then travel to different countries. We also do penetration testing for manufacturers. Some of the Japanese manufacturers are actually using our pen test report for their certifications. We are doing testing for some of the clients in Europe and Africa. So pen test is a very interesting subject. We get to see different types of systems. We test on different systems. We test on ATM machines. We test on, basically we hack ATM machines. We hack different components of medical devices. And upcoming one, we were seeing things like drones, civilian drones. We were seeing things like car components and many other things. The second business we are in is in computer crime investigation and digital forensic. And most of the time when you see news appear on the newspaper about data leakage or any organizations got hacked, quite likely we are there already. We are there to assist the organizations to perform investigation and provide digital evidence for them to make further decision. Another business we are in is provide certification. So we are also a certification body for Pci Dss. As long as if your business involved in doing online transactions with credit cards, so we are the certification body that certified the security. So when you mention certification, meaning that we have to test, we have to validate, and then we certify our client. So finally, it's a training, and this is a part that we work very closely with MDEC, provide training. So the training that we provide is very specialized into security. So if you have any plans to let's say if you have a plan to become a penetration tester, you want to become a forensic investigator, computer crime investigator. So these are some of the programs that you can consider. Next slide, please. Okay, so for our consultants and our employees, we actually have very high requirements for them. So all of them need to be internationally certified. They have to have 1 or more international certifications. So we have an in-house upgrowing program. So we have an education program for academic program for in-house staff. We encourage everyone to take exams and trainings. So that's why over the years, we have actually accumulated quite a number of international certifications for the staff. Next slide, please. All right, so these are some of our customers. Next slide. All right, so that's pretty much sums up my presentation. And let's talk about the career opportunities. So during MCO, actually, we see kind of a very interesting phenomenon. We actually noticed that because of the MCO, right, a lot of SME actually moving on to digital, right? Previously, they were not being considered digital as part of their business, but now a lot of SME actually moving on to digital. Now, during SME, during this migration to digitalization, right, we also see that the demand for cybersecurity also growing. So because the SME today are now also facing the same kind of challenges that larger organizations are facing. The disadvantage side for the SME is that they may not have the resources and investment as big as the larger organizations to defend themselves. So that's why we will see the next wave of demand for cybersecurity is coming, all right, coming from the SME sector and also from other sectors that we previously was not so sensitive about. For example, manufacturing, healthcare. Previously, when you talk about cybersecurity, the first thing that comes to our mind are financial institutions, banks, insurance companies, right? They need cybersecurity to protect their data. But today, when we talk about cybersecurity, right, some of these areas like healthcare, manufacturing, they all need cybersecurity to protect their data, protect the system, right? Particularly when you talk about IR 4.0, where manufacturers are actually moving into digitalize their robots, they digitalize their workflow. So the career opportunities that we have right now, we're actually actively hiring. We have quite a number of positions for penetration testers. We have about close to 10 positions available until end of the year. Our target is to have another 10% join in as a pen tester. Now, for us, this common asked question is this: if someone would like to become a pen tester, right? Do they need to be a graduate coming from computer security? The answer is no. You don't have to be a computer security graduates. You just need to have the passion. That's more important actually. We have also pen tester coming from non-computer degree background. So it's all back to you. Depending on your passion, we will more than happy to listen to, or to what you like to do, and facilitate and provide you the opportunity to grow. Because end of the day, right? Cybersecurity is an ever growing, ever learning field. It's going to be a non-stop, and that's the reason why. It's challenging. It's not as ordinary as others, right? Because every day you get to learn something new. You get to learn how to break things, how to break new ways to break things, and then put things back, and then learn how to investigate the criminals. Because the criminals are always using new techniques, and learn from the criminals. So this is the mindset I would advocates to all whoever who want to join into the cybersecurity career. So you have an attitude of continuous learning. So if you like to learn, you like to grow, then this is a field that you will be enjoying. So penetration tester is one of the positions that we're looking at. Another one is a compliance auditor, ISMS. So we have positions who are not just purely based on technical work. So we have, because we also perform audit and certifications for our customers, we will go into audit their system, their processes. We may not be hacking the systems per se, but what we are going to do is to assess how the system is being configured, whether there's proper security controls applied on the system. So it's very much on logical work, and rather than a very technical work. So we are looking for people who have a minimum of 2 years of information security audit experience. Or if you are fresh, then also share with us what kind of things that you would like to learn, and then we see whether we can match you back into this position as well. So next slide, please. Again, because of another thing about Lgms is that we are in a progress of expansion, regional expansion. So we're also looking for sales executive. So if you are coming from sales and marketing background, and you would like to tap onto the growth of cybersecurity, this is the best time. And we are looking for people with experience, also people who are fresh, and we are willing to give you the background training. Even though you may not come from cybersecurity background, but we strongly believe that if you have the passion, and if you're interested to tap on the trend of the ever-growing cybersecurity trend, then this is the best time to venture in. Next slide, please. So this is also another very interesting. Oh, come back. Back one slide, I think. Okay, this is also a very interesting opportunity. We actually have another 5 to 10 openings for digital forensic investigators and computer crime investigators and digital forensic analysts. So what this position requires one to do is that sometimes when we have cases like computer breach, hacking, corporate hacking, our role will be the investigators to go in to find out when, where, how, and by who. So the role of this person is to carry out the function of investigators. So normally for Lgms, right, we will actually provide penetration testing training for everyone, including the auditor and investigators. The reason for that is because for investigators to carry out their investigation properly, they need to know how the hacker hack. They need to know how the hacker works, what kind of tools the hackers are using. So this is a very interesting role, and typically we will look for people with some kind of a cyber security experience, or maybe infrastructure or network experience. And with this kind of experience, it will accelerate you much faster compared with someone who are fresh. So if you have any certifications in the discipline of networking, system administration, this is something that you can consider. Now, another interesting part about this job is that you get to learn a lot. In fact, we learn a lot from the bad guys, because when we do computer crime investigation and we go into crime scene, right, and we get to see, what the bad guys have done and how they do it, and who are these people, where are they coming from, and where we reverse engineer, where we take apart, their malware that deployed by the hackers, we also get to learn, hey, this hacker, how well do they know about their victim? Perhaps some hackers already hacked in and they develop a malware that customized the victim environment. So we see all these kind of interesting stories, and we learn from the hackers, and we apply the same thing back to our penetration testing for our customers. That's the reason why the Lgms penetration testing is kind of interesting, because we have a lot of test cases that we have gathered over the years on different types of platforms. If you ask us, can you do a pen test? Can you hack an ATM machine? We say, yes, we have 15 types of ways to hack an ATM machines. So this is how we learn from bad guys. And this is the ever-growing learning field from computer crime investigation. We also do a testimonial in court. If you have some exposure in law, that will be also welcome, because we also present our evidence in court, and we do cross-examination with lawyers. We participate in defend for the defendant, and also typically we work for the defendants in the court. So we do this kind of interesting work in computer crime investigation. Next slide, please. All right, so these are our regional offices. Our operation is still pretty much based in HQ in Malaysia. We fly to different countries, but because of MCO right now, so we actually started to do remote, and in fact, it gives us a better perspective. We understand what the kind of challenges when we do the work remotely, and then we also adapting to it, and the customer seems to also welcome the change. So that's why during MCO period, we in fact still maintain our casual, our busy schedules with the customer. It's just that the way how we do it have actually shifted. Instead of going on site, we actually do it on site, off site. However, some of the work we cannot do because of MCO. For example, we're supposed to fly to Japan to carry out work for for a manufacturer who supposed to test on their medical devices. That it's a huge machine, but I mean, they can't ship the machine over here, and also we can't open a connection back to service, so we have to postpone some kind of this project as well. So as an overall cybersecurity, excuse me, cybersecurity is a very interesting industry.
What's your best advice today? Is that if someone who are from different domain, where they can start in order to attach themselves in this domain, maybe, Mr. Fong?
Okay, Victor, what you say is very true, because last time we don't have any instant training for cybersecurity. So today, things are very convenient. If you have any interest into cybersecurity, right, and even though you come from different background, different disciplines, you can, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what drives you into cybersecurity first? Is it a genuine interest that you are interested to perform security-related work, or is it because of your friends are doing it or you doing it? So you have to ask yourself why first, the why, and then once you really have the determination to go into cybersecurity, I think the next thing you can get in touch with is looking at the resources available. There's so many different types of courses online, whether they are free or commercial, or even a more conventional way that you can go for cybersecurity related certification and trainings. They can do it online as well. So there are many, many other resources that can help you to jumpstart your cybersecurity career. And my advice is that if you're totally new, you're quite determined to wanted to go into cybersecurity, look for some training that can help you to kickstart first, right? Try out the training, get yourself certified, and see if you really have the continuous interest into it, and then can go on deeper. At the same time, also explore a kind of work or career that can give you assist you on your career, on your jumpstart. So look for a security firm that are willing to give you opportunity to practice what you have learned, and continuous learning is the key here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fong. I see a lot of crossover. I think this question is more towards Mr. Fong, right? I see a lot of crossover of professionals from different domain, like especially those from accounting or finance background, right? There's a question from the chat room actually, is that he or she, I think he didn't disclose the name, right? So the question was actually asking is that they graduate from non-IT background but from accounting with banking background. So, Mr. Fong, what is your advice? They are not audit experience, definitely, but the few the few key things that I can highlight here is that non-IT background, accounting graduates, work with a bank before, no audit experience. So, what's your advice, Mr. Fong?
You see, the way how I see things is our academic training, right? Our academic training is actually giving us the ability to pick up skills like analytical skills, analytical thinking, and critical thinking. So whatever we learn from an academic program, yes, on surface is on a specialized skill set, but more importantly, it's also the skills of ourselves to be able to pick up something like how to analyze things, how how to analyze a complex matter. So if you have an accounting background, right? So obviously you have some kind of I would say analytical skills, and you have certain advantage when it comes to auditing as well, because you have sensitive with numbers, sensitive with details, and I think auditing will be something that you can consider. The now what is the gap right now is to fill you up with the knowledge on the surface on the IT side. So once that gap is filled, then with your ability to continuously to pick up the skill set, I think that shouldn't be a problem. That's why in our track record, right, we also have people who are not really graduate from IT per se, or computer science per se, in working in the penetration testing and security assessment and others. So it's more importantly is your personal capability of adapting and learn.